for that. So we're going to continue looking at building RESTful APIs in Python with Flask Scrappy. So I'm just going to go ahead and start sharing since maybe not. Super prepared. Okay, cool. What's that? Where's Zoom? There's Zoom with the share. There it is. Great. Desktop shared. Fantastic. Cool. So what I would like to do here is get all the windows in the right place. And then let's take a look at what we did yesterday, just to review. And kind of as an overview for today. I think that some of the curriculum in Canvas is not as clear as it could be regarding the different ways to do this kind of thing. There's a phrasing in some of the things that makes it feel like what we are doing here with our app routes is not creating RESTful APIs, and that using a RESTful API library is. That's not the case. Whether an API is RESTful or not. So let me back up. An API is just an agreement. That is the P is for protocol, right? And protocol is just an agreement that says when you say something to me, I'll respond in a certain way and respond in kind and so forth. HTTP, P, protocol. When you send me a request in a certain way, I will look at that request and then respond in a certain way. And the implementation of that, the server, whether it's a JSON server or a Java application or .NET or Python or Express or Rails, none of that matters. The protocol part is the agreement. You send me this, I'll send you that. You say this, I'll respond with the appropriate thing. It could be Flask. It could be sending faxes to a guy living in a shed somewhere who does the math and then faxes you back another thing. The protocol is just the agreement. And whether we write that agreement with app routes like this, whether we use a library to automate some of the RESTful stuff, whether we decide not to use any libraries at all and just write a straight Python script that takes the raw HTTP and responds in a certain way, none of that matters. A RESTful API is just an API that, and REST isn't even a standard like we talked about yesterday. REST is a philosophy. There's a lot of agreement about what RESTful means, but in general, it means that you're going to be using HTTP to request resources, and you're going to use the HTTP methods as the verbs for what to do with those resources. Beyond that, it gets a little fuzzy. So we have productions here. We can, the basic actions are, we can get an index of a resource, so we can list all the resources. That's what this looks like. We can get a specific resource, usually by an ID.
Still muted.
Do we lose someone? We can request a specific resource with these are both gets. We can create a new resource by hitting the resource with a post. We can delete a resource by hitting that with an ID with a delete. We can update resources by hitting that with an ID with a body that has the new stuff. That's based like, that is the RESTful agreement. However that's implemented, it's RESTful. And I think some of the language in the curriculum implies that we're just learning Flask. Okay, now we're going to learn RESTful stuff, and it's all RESTful. Looking at the exercise we were kind of talking about yesterday, I think it was maybe Travis, the counting one and the math ones and stuff. Those are still endpoints. They're not RESTful endpoints because they're not talking about resources and then acting on them with different verbs. But there's still, we did that for a very long time back when the web was a baby. So none of it's right or wrong. It's just using a RESTful interface uh, gives you an idea of what to expect and gives the people who are consuming your API an idea what to expect. Of course, documentation is key, and even APIs that declare themselves to be RESTful will all have their own peculiarities. So that documentation of the API is the agreement. Hopefully the code follows. Cool. That said, I would like to look at continuing to implement some RESTful stuff with these app routes. And then depending on what time looks like, kind of pivot and talk about the library, the RESTful API library thing. Yeah, cool. I think that'll work. So yeah, so just to, again, review what we did yesterday. We made ourselves a model with using the Flask Squalchemy, and that's basically the same. That's basically the same ish syntax as we were doing before, just going through our SQL alchemy library instead of the plain. It's going through the Flask Squalchemy instead of Squalchemy. Otherwise, hitting our database, the database looks basically the same. Let me open that up. Yeah, so here's our little database boy. We've got our stuff in here. I think we still had some, yeah, so we got some stuff in there. We did all the stuff to set that up, initialize it. We did a little seed, put some data in there. Again, this is just Python that's going through our, it's basically using our app as kind of a tool instead of, but it doesn't matter if it's going through the app or not. We could just populate it with regular SQL alchemy in here. We could, go into the SQLite command line and insert things by hand. As long as there's stuff in the database, it doesn't matter how it gets there. This is just a convenient way of getting there. And we had our migrations to set up that thing. So the important bit here was getting our application set up to handle some routes. And we set up an application. We told it where the database is. We hit the migration for that. And we initialized the database there. And we had to do some stuff on the command line. That's boilerplate stuff. The important stuff is here and below. So our routes, we can do app route and then give a route and then do something. If we say app route with a resource, we can do what's expected. So our RESTful API is going to expect that if you do a get to the resource itself, then we are going to be looking for an index for that resource, which is what we're doing here. And I think I did it one way. I would probably do it differently here, thinking about it again. I'll talk a little bit about that as we go forward. And then our other resource, other route, this is our singular resource route, getting it the resource with the ID and then querying our database and returning that response. And this is kind of the pattern that we're going to follow most of the time here. So yeah, I think we want to continue along this for now. Again, like I said, we might be pivoting to the library today, or maybe we'll hit it tomorrow. We'll see where we are. So cool. Did anyone run up against anything up to this point, or anything in the curriculum even that isn't making sense? Anything you have questions about, want to go deeper on? Everyone feeling good so far? All right. So let's do this. Do I want to do that? Yeah, let's do this. So these are right now, these are just gets. If we don't specify any methods in here, it's gonna give us a get route. And because we're doing RESTful routes, we need to use all the pieces of HTTP. So there's a couple ways to do this. You know, Python's motto, there's a billion ways to do everything. So one of the things we can do, and the way that this is kind of the idiomatic way to do it. Yeah. So we can create a route for production here. I'm actually going to comment this part out now so we can focus on this one here. We have our route that's getting the index of it. I'm actually going to, oh yeah, I'm going to just rename this to production. And I'm going to specify some methods for this, available methods. So if there is no method specified, it'll be a get. If we want to specify more methods, we're going to give it an option here, another parameter that will give us a list of method types. So methods, and I'm going to say I want to do my get, and I want to do a post. Cool. So now this is going to, when we get a request for this, it knows that it's either going to be a get or a post, and it won't handle the other kinds. So that's one way of kind of restricting your endpoints to what you just want to do. So that's how the decorator works there, and we can of course add more methods there. So how do we tell what to do here? Well, we have to actually look at the request. So we can look at the request, request here. We need to do something else, don't we? We need to set up the context that has that request. Yeah, so we need to set up the context for that request. How is that done? That is done. I thought it did that automatically. I don't think it does though. Why is it doing that automatically? Should be. Let me look something up here. Yep, that's right. That's right. Uh-huh. 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 I don't know why that is not working. Well, that's gonna cause a problem. What do we need to do here? Interesting. Request. Documentation here. Yeah, that request context should just be there. What am I not importing something? I think I'm reporting everything I need to do. Huh, I'm missing something terribly here. No, that should just show up there. Let me see. What did I miss? Unless it's just VS Code being weird. Maybe it's just VS Code being weird. I'm gonna do this just to see. Well, first I'm gonna start up without that. And I have the this thing set up here, so I should just be able to do. I'm in my PyAmp. I should just be able to do. Go into the server and great. So let me see if it throws an error when I do this. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna print it just to see. I don't feel like that's gonna blow up. Yeah, it's just my VS Code complaining. Think, or actually, I'm not gonna assume that. I'm gonna test it. We are running on 5,000 here. So
You need to like import something.
I thought that came with the app context there, but I might be wrong. If this doesn't work, I'm definitely wrong. Oh, look at that. Great. Yeah. So we are missing something. VS Code was not lying to me. What do we need to import to get that done? Let's see. Some more documentation here.
I think it's just, at least in some of the practices, we just put import requests at the top.
Import requests.
Yeah, plural.
Let's see here. Oh, import requests. We need to import that from Flask. That's what it is. Yep. And if I spell it right, it'll work better. Excellent. Cool. Let's see if that at least solve that problem. Hey, look at that. And so it is, no, it's not printing our request, but it's not bombing out. Great. Okay. I'm not printing it either. That's why. Programming. So there is our request object. Great. And that is that's a Flask request object. There is extensive documentation about all the bits and pieces that we want to do. But the important part here is, where am I looking at? Yeah, there we go. The important part is we want to look at the method. So if we can print that out here, and if we make that GET request, it should say, hey, there's a GET there. And we can see that from our actual request here too. So since this is something that we can look at, this is something that we can make some choices about. So we can do, I mean, the simplest way, and probably the way you're going to see it a bunch of times, is with an if. So if request method is equal to get, then print the getting. Yeah, maybe I should put parentheses around that. Or I could just go pass. LF request method equals post. And then we'll actually I'm just gonna return. Two equals there. Posting. And we might want to do some error checking here, but I'm not going to. I'll just say else. Cool. So if I do my get here, I should be just getting the getting back. Getting, great. But I can't really just do a post from the browser like this. So there are a few things we can do. We could build a React front end that would make post requests. I don't feel like doing that right now. We can do some stuff in a debug file that will, hey, look at all that stuff. I'm not going to do any of that. Or my preferred way is to use a program like Insomnia or Postman to make different kinds of requests. I don't even know if I still have Postman installed. Yeah, I do. Look at that. Let's use Postman. I haven't used Postman in a while. Hey, Postman, what's up? Great, I don't care. So, oh, it's using this to test the ramen one. Can we bump this up? Yeah, we can. Great. So if I want to make a request, we were requesting to 5,000 production. And 403 forbidden. Why is that? Oh man, what are we looking at here? Nope. Let's just make sure we're good here. This is what we want to get. There we go. Why was localhost forbidden? Was I just doing it? I just type it wrong. I must just, nope. Oh, it's so weird. Why is it not liking that, but it likes that? Huh. Anyway, use the one that works. So we're getting our response here, and this is getting. You may have slash probably used Postman in the past to play with the JSON server. Maybe if not, welcome to Postman. This is a program that lets you send HTTP requests and look at the responses. Normally in a browser, we can just send GETs from here. We would need some sort of application set up to send other kinds, but here we have our application already set up. So we can actually just do a post here and look at all the HTTP methods you can use. Don't use any of those except for like these ones. Let's do a post. So we're going to be posting to the same endpoint, but we're using a different verb. We are, instead of using get, we are using post. And right now we're not sending a body along, although we could. Hey, look, no body. Let's just hit send and see what happens. Posting, look at that. And you can see in our little server log, we got a post request. So we can do different things depending on which method we're using. And if I gave it some another method, delete, oh no, don't delete anything. Nope, not allowed. It's not even going to respond nope, because we haven't said that's okay to do that here. That is one way to do that. I think that's the way I'm going to stick with here. There are sometimes you'll see different ways with this, and the way that you're going to see most of the time is this. I think so. This has some shortcuts. The app has shortcuts built into it. I don't remember exactly what they are, but I'm going to play with them a little bit and see what they are. So I'm just going to comment out everything but getting here. Ooh, boy. Cool. So again, let's use mail-in. Let's do our get. There's our route. It's going to get production, and we're just going to get a getting back. Getting, great. If my memory serves me, I don't think this is in the curriculum anywhere. I think this is just in the documentation. We should be able to do an app.get and get the same thing. Amazing. We should be able to do an app.post and type post in. So if we go to mailman, postman, mailman is something different. If we go to postman and do our post here, is it going to work? It does. So when I'm writing stuff, rarely in Flask, this is generally the way that I do it. Having a different route defined for each different thing. And so instead of doing a big, oh, here are all the methods that this one function handles, and then doing, if we're doing all four, we're doing it if request method equals get, if request method equals post, if request method gets patch, if gets and I'm asleep by the end. I think this way is easier to read. If we do this, get rid of that, get rid of that, and get here. So I think having a separate one for each route reads better to me. We are probably going to need to rename those functions. I bet it's going to give us a problem, right? Come on, give us a problem. Yeah, there we go. Oh, maybe I should There we go. Let's try that. Yeah, great. This should be production. Yeah, production. That should work. Yes. So now we can go back to Postman and say, here's our posting, here's our getting, and there's the same keywords for delete. There's patch, there's put, there's probably all the, nope, not, okay. So all the main ones you're gonna use. There are decorators for all of those. I think the only way that's shown in the curriculum is this way. I find that very, very difficult to read because you're mixing different functionalities into the same function in a really kind of gross way. But you're going to see that a lot. I think in most of the Flask tutorials and stuff, you're going to see it that way. I think in all of our material, you're going to see it that way. I prefer this way, but I'm going to show you the way that we are doing it in the curriculum, so it is less confusing. Just know that instead of putting all of these into if, elif, etc., you can do it this way. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it the way that looks better. The curriculum has examples of how to do it in the big gross if way. If you want to do it that way, great. Rule one, if it works, it works. I'm going to do it this way because I feel like it's easier to read and understand. And that's a rule two. So that said, let's get to making stuff work. Yeah. So and here we don't even need to look at request method. So blah blah blah, goodbye. And it's more, for me, it's more readable. I can say, oh, it's getting that route. It's posting to that route instead of it's just doing something to that route and then trying to trace out all the stuff in the function. Anyway, let's actually make it do something. So yeah, so the way we can do this here, I'm just gonna, just for kicks, retype some of this. So our route is that, in fact, I'm gonna do, oh, you know what I can do? Look at that. I'm just gonna pass that. Let me look real quick at our application. So if we do just hitting the root, that's all right. Oh no, that's all right. It worked. We just didn't do it. If we do turn, okay. So there's our main one. Loop. Great. Hey, look, it's an index page that actually does index stuff. Great. So let's go ahead and actually do our thing here. Why not? So and this way we'll also give you that invalid method thing if they ask for something you don't have. It's not defined. So I'm going to grab our productions. We are importing our production here. And we'll just get all of them. And we can make a response. So let's do, oh, do that. Yeah, let's do it that way. Let's just make that response. Yeah, same way. So this is going to, and this takes the string that JSONify is giving us, and that is turning the stuff we give it into a string, and then make response is wrapping that whole thing into a response object that has all the stuff. If we're just returning a string, Flask also kind of does that by default in a specific way. We can look at this, inspect this, and see, like, just gives us the basic, it wraps it all in an HTML with a head. Yeah, so if we want it to be different, we're going to make it different. So let's go ahead and do this. And actually, we don't want that if we're just getting data back, because if we make a JSON request and get HTML back, you're going to get that unexpected token less than a position 0. You've probably all seen. Cool. So let's finish making this work. So make response is going to wrap our stuff in a response object. So let's make that happen. So I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to see what happens. So I'm going to JSONify. So that's going to turn whatever this is into a string. I am still going to use a list comprehension. So we're going to take the stuff we got and turn it into other stuff. I'm going to say do our list comprehension inside out, because that's the way it is. So for I'm just going to call it prod here in productions. In fact, we don't even need that. I'm going to refactor as we speak. Since we're only using that in one place, I'm just going to do it right here. So for prod, I'm going to see if this works. Prod, and I think so. Prod is going to be an instance of that production class that's attached to the database. I think if I do to dict, that is going to turn that into an object for us. And then, so we are creating a list here. We're taking each of the things that in production that we put in there, all of them. We're going to say for each one of those, we're going to put in the list prod to dict. And again, if you still have a JavaScript brain, this is a map, basically, just with extra stuff. So I feel like that's going to do it. So whereas we were getting like the string version of the production here, we're getting the data version of it here. We want to give it a 200 response because that is okay. And we can return that response. And you know what I'm just going to do? I'm just going to return that make response there. So basically we've taken this kind of blown out version and just said, cool, we're going to query our model. We're going to get all the things. For each one of those, we're going to turn it into a dictionary, and we're going to slap all of those into a list. We're going to JSONify that list. We're going to make a response out of that JSON, and then we're going to return that whole shebang. We could break it out into lines like this. They do exactly the same thing. This one, I think the other one might be easier to read if you're new to it, which you all are. It's good to get used to reading stuff like kind of from the inside out like this. If you see that, you can either read it from, oh, it's doing that, or you can say, okay, it's returning something. Oh, we're making a response. Oh, it's JSONifying something. Oh, it's a list. Oh, it's a list comprehension, and we're taking, we're getting this stuff for everything in there. Oh, we're doing a query here. So whichever way you want to kind of make your brain shimmy, that'll work just fine. Or if it makes more sense to you, break it out line by line. That's also great. Again, that's a lot of big talk. Let's see if it actually works. And let's use Postman again. So we're going to do our get here. Let's have some errors. Let's see it. Yeah, there we go. Object has no attribute to dict. We say that now. Why? Why would we do that? So this is the part that's not working. Production object has no attribute to dict. I don't believe you, but you're telling me the truth because you're a computer and you have no reason to lie to me. What is happening there? Let me go to Mr. Google. Why no to dict? Let me do it on this one here so you can actually see it. Python, SQL alchemy. to dict. That's what I want. That should do it. Nope, that won't work. Why doesn't it like this? Yeah, weird. Give me the actual answer. No. Doesn't appear to be a two-dict method. Yep. Well, you know, aha, I'll mix in. SQL Alchemy serializer. That's what I need to do. Oh, the serializer. Let's go ahead and get that in there. Boom, boom, boom. We need to import our serializer. And where are we importing that from? Response. Nope. That's not it. Where is our serializer? Probably just as easy as importing. There we go. Serializer mix in. That's what I want. Okay. And can I just import that? Let's find out. Let's find out. Oh, do we need to do that in? Yeah, we need to do that in a model. That's right. Like that. Is that in my pip file? It is. Look at that. I could have just looked there. Great. So it's going to inherit from model, and we're going to mix in the serializer mixing. That's what I was missing. Python's not the only language that does this. Ruby does this. A bunch of other languages do, where you can inherit from a superclass, but you can also say, hey, also add these things in. If you get into object-oriented theory stuff, there's something called the diamond inheritance problem, where basically, or people think it's a problem. Basically, if you're inheriting from two classes, what do you do if they conflict? So a lot of object-oriented languages don't let you inherit from more than one class. Some do, and those languages are awesome. But the way that other languages get around it is by using this concept of mix-ins, which basically says instead of inheriting from two objects or two classes from the stuff that you want, you're going to inherit from one object, and you're going to use what's called a mix-in that like provides extra stuff. Basically, it's a mod for your class, right? So serializer mix-in is something that whatever else you're inheriting from adds this serialization thing. I don't think I need to do anything else to it, but I could be wrong. Let's see if I'm wrong or not. Here is my get. Let's send it along. Hey, look at that! It actually worked. What do you know? We did a computer thing. Cool. So this is sending back not HTML. This is sending back our raw data. So this is what we want from a GET request here. Great. And we could do the same sort of thing. In fact, we are kind of doing the same thing down here. Instead of doing all this by hand, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this here. This also lets you like keep all your GET roots together, which feels really good to me. Others disagree. So let's do an app get, and we can use that int ID. So this will let us, and there's really no data convention here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say get production. I'm going to say get productions. Look at that, plurals and everything. There's no real strong naming convention for what these methods are called. They can be called A, B, C, D, whatever you like, as long as they're unique. Um, great. So in our get here, we're going to do our production query. I'm going to filter that query by saying production ID equals our ID that we're passing in here. And we're getting that from there. And we want to take that and we're going to, oh, we need to get the first one. That's right. We need to it. Great. So this is an expression that's going to return our object. And I think we can do kind of the same thing. We can return make response of that plus our little 200. Yeah. I don't like those on the lines there. We're going to fix this up the same way. There's no reason for that. Great. Are those 200s necessary? That's a great question mark. Question mark. So let's see if this works before we start messing with this more. So I want to get just the first production here. Let's get the Hamlet ID of 1. If this works, it's going to work. Aha, not found. Production. Do we need production int ID? Production int ID. That looks right. What if we do it from here? Also not found. Interesting. App get production 1. I know this was working and that looks exactly the same. Why would that not work? Because I'm doing an app get instead of an app route. That would be sad if that was the case. That's sad then. Great. Why is it not letting me do it with a get? That's weird. Maybe that's why people do it that way. Interesting. Look up that. We're going to do flask get decorator. How about that? Boom. There we go. Palette project is the consortium that makes makes Flask. I think it's like 3 guys. This is the old version. Let me see the new version. It's an old version. Let me see the new version. Just show me the newest version, man. Stop messing with me. Great. Actually, let's see what version of Flask we're using. Flask 222. Let's go back to 222. Okay, great. This is 222. 222. So here is our endpoint decorator. Endpoint, no. Does this just not work in this version? Is that what the problem is? Oh, is this maybe old syntax not supported anymore? Let me do this. Or decoration. Interesting. View decorators. So those are view decorators. I want request decorators. Yeah, let's do that. Get request. This tells us route. Okay, that's not what we want. Am I just making this too complicated? Don't want that. Nope. What? Maybe it is an old way to do it, and I'm lying to you now. Maybe this is not true in the new version. So, in that case, let's go back to the way I was just talking shit about. Um, oh, because yeah, if this doesn't work, then it probably won't work for uh, patches and deletes and stuff. Oh, that's so sad. It makes me really sad. Um, so let's put it the other way, and we will do it the ugly way, I guess. Let's do this here. Great. And we will give it our methods. That's going to be our get. That's going to be our post. Okay, cool. So sad. And now we can just do this as a production. Productions. I'm going to call it production. So now we need to do our request method. Great, great. If request method equals get, and we're going to do this stuff. So hey, we can do that. And we need to great. In fact, I'm just going to do that. All one big happy line. Cool. And so then we can do our elif. Let's return. Oops. Cool. So now this should do what we want. Let's try it in Postman and see what happens. Our production one, that still works. Our production, that still works. Let's throw a post in there and make sure we get our great. Okay. Forget everything I was just talking about the last 15 minutes then. Well, cool. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. So that was a long way around to get back to where we were. After all the confusion, is there anything in here that you want to ask some questions about before we go to the other methods? Cool. Let's get to it then. So we're going to do our, I'm actually going to blow this out a little bit again so we can read it a little bit better. Fine. Great. So let's take a look at our post. What we want to do is, where was I here? Nope. Nope, that's not what I need. So yeah, so what we want to do here is the same kind of thing that we were doing when we were just doing SQL alchemy in another place. So here's what I'd like to do. We have our gets basically written there. Let's go ahead and make our push request so we can make new productions here. So one thing that we need to do is we need to get the body that is sent with a request. Post requests generally require a body. Not everything's getting plain if you don't, but it should get. So let's. Already, it's too early for me. Let's walk through what we need to do here. So we need to get the body, right? And so we need to how do we do that? It's going to be in the request, right? So it's going to be in the does it ask for well, there's a good way to find out. We can do that. Yeah. So let's look at let's make a push request first. So I'm just going to what do I want here? I'm just going to pass. Next person. So what I would like to do here is I'm going to send a post and I'm going to include a body, and it is going to be I would like it to be well, I would like it to be JSON. There we go. I would like it to be JSON, and I'm going to send something along with it. And this is just going to be a garbage body here. I'm just going to give it a here's a key, here's a value. Here's garbage. Here's a number. Great. So if I send that along, should get no request or no response. Fantastic. Great. But we did get a request here like that. Server still running. So here's our request, but we can't see the body yet. So let's. I'm just going to print out request body. And I'll just return cool. So let's see what that looks like here. I'm going to send the same garbage body there. It has no attributes. What 500 error? Request has no attribute body. Well, why not? It should. Let's see. Flask request body. JSON. Hey, I like that. JSON. Great. Is there actual? Yeah, there we go. Cool. So I want to get the receiving. That's what I want. Request JSON. Hey, look at that. Let's get the request JSON. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh, you know what? I could have just done that. No body again. Great. One more request. The Flask documentation, very good if you know where to look. It is just one giant mass of stuff, though. So there are a lot of things in Flask, most of which you won't use, but they're there if you want to look for them. Hey, there we go. Did not attempt to load JSON because the content type was not JSON. Really? Let's see. Let's make our headers. Well, let's tell you. Content type is going to be JSON. And you know what? I'm going to put this except same thing. That's why I like to use Insomnia a little bit nicer. Let's see what we get here. Hey, look at that. It's returned okay. And hey, we got our JSON there. Fantastic. So now the rest is pretty much gravy. So now we just want to go ahead and make the database request. So again, what does our stuff look like? I'm going to grab something out of our seed here, and let's see. I'm just gonna put some sample data down here. Nope, no thanks. Great. Keep that. Yeah, great. So I'm going to just build our little object right here. So we want to give it a title, and we're going to give it a genre, service, actual sense. Our director is not actually the director, but is the author. That's going to be Beckett. Beckett. Description. Wait for budget. Great. Image. Let's do this. I love that one. Great. Copy address. Fantastic. Give it that address. Loop. And ongoing. Can we give booleans in? I don't think we can we? Maybe. I'm going to say, interesting question. I'm going to do that and we'll see what happens. Cool. Genre, director, description, budget, image, ongoing. Fantastic. So this is the data that we're going to use. And we're going to send it here. Here's our body. So instead of our garbage, we're going to send that. That seems to be valid. Cool. So now when we send it, we should get an error because I left something in there. Oh, yep, that's right. Cool. So now we should get our stuff back. Nothing. Mm-hmm. 403 forbidden now. Really? Really? Cool. Still a post. Still got the right stuff there. JSON. Body is JSON. Amazing. Why would it not do? So did it not like our data for some reason? Nope, it's just trash still. What happened here? What changed? What changed was I was typing in there a whole bunch. Let's take my typing away. We want request JSON. Cool, so this one was working. Let's see if it still works. Awesome, awesome. Python is so much fun. Why would that not work? That was literally just working. Let's get rid of that. Request method is post, production, route, production, post. That's that. Does it get still work? No, it does not. Amazing. What has changed? What has changed? This. Out. My try to treat debugging method, just comment everything out until it starts working again. Let's try our root route and see if that works. Okay, that works. Let's just make a route that returns something. Okay, cool, that works. So back it up here. Let's try this. That just does that. Okay, that works. Great. Back up one more. Let's see if that one works. That works. Fantastic. Does that work in Postman? 403 forbidden. Why? I know that's not true. It's not forbidden here. Why is it forbidden here? Send it with no body? No, it's not it. Hmm. Maybe Postman is just trash. Is that it? Let me try it in Insomnia. Let me try it in Insomnia, wherever that is. There's Postman. Oh, Insomnia. I don't think I've used Insomnia on this machine yet. There we go. There it is. So bright for Insomnia. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. Let's make a GET request to HTTP 1000. Make that request. API function called from within callback. What does that even mean? I'm gonna make a new request. Call it production. Great. I'm going to let's get rid of that. I'm going to get HTTP 127.0.0.1 Give me that cranky message. No. Why is everything breaking? Oh no. What's happening there? Everything is trash. Okay. Let's go back to Postman. Nothing. Everything's forbidden. Such forbidden. But it's okay from here. Oh my god, that's real bad. Turn it off and turn it back on again. See if that works. Great. Cool. I'm just gonna make that response. It is running. It is running. Great. Make that GET response. 200. Okay. Okay. Close that, please. Close, close, close. Awesome. Everything's breaking. Bye. Goodbye. Swap this one. Close that out. Close. Let's try that again. Wow, won't let me do anything there. Get. Just gonna get that production. Send. Thinking. Okay, something terrible is clearly happening here. um, well, I'm not gonna make you watch me debug my entire damn computer because that is no good. So yeah, we didn't get anywhere here. So I'm gonna cut it off here. I'm gonna see if I can debug it, and then we will come back and talk about it. Well, fortunately, we have a wiggle day tomorrow, so we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Maybe this was helpful in watching someone's debugging process. I hope. Yeah, I don't really have much to say here. Any thoughts or questions before we shut this one down? I will be posting this just for transparency.
I think it's always helpful to watch your thought process and, see you be human. And I think this, is probably more educational than you're giving yourself credit for. So that was pretty good. There's a YouTube video called Interview with a Senior Python Developer that might have some of the answers in it for you.
I'll check that one out. Cool. Any other thoughts? Stop sharing at this point. There we go. Any other thoughts, questions? Besides, why doesn't the computer work? Awesome. I will post this up in the usual places, useful or useful not. And cool, keep plugging away. If you come up with problems, me too. give me a holler. Awesome. I'll see you all in a little bit.